South Africa's budget projections are optimistic. That's according to Fitch. It says the government has not factored in additional support that it will have to give to SOEs, which is why the latest fiscal projections show a smaller budget deficits than previously forecast. The budget shows the consolidated deficit reaching 4.9% of GDP for fiscal year 2023 and 4.5% in the following year before narrowing further to 3.7% in 2025. President Cyril Ramaphosa has extended the term of office of the Sars Commissioner for another 2 years. The head of state says keeping Edward Kisweta on will allow for an orderly leadership transition at the Revenue Service. Kisweta was appointed in 2019 for a 5-year term. It is understood Kisweta had quietly expressed his desire to leave Sars, but Ramaphosa has moved to keep him on the role a bit longer. Sasfin Bank, meanwhile, has been hit with civil summons from Sars. That totals 4.9 billion rand plus interest and costs. The claim relates to Sars' alleged inability to collect taxes and penalties from former foreign exchange clients of the bank. Those clients were involved in a criminal syndicate that colluded with some employees. Sasfin Bank says it's obtained a legal opinion from ENS that the claim has no merit and little chance of success. Motus has reported a 27% fall in half-year profits. That's after new sales vehicles volumes came under pressure. Consumers have been holding back from buying durable goods given the uncertain economic environment and high interest rates. But CEO Osman Abi says the firm has delivered a resilient trading performance despite this challenge, and he is pleased with that. An interim dividend of R2.35 has been declared. This is a reduction of 22% on last year's payout. Supergroup's top-line growth has failed to filter down to the bottom line. The logistics group has posted a 12% rise in half-year revenue. This was driven by the weakening of the average rand exchange rate and the acquisition of Amco and Right Side Up. But profits took a knock. Headline earnings per share for the period fell back 16%. Grindrod has forecast a profit bump for the full year. The freight and logistics company says headline earnings per share will be between 15 and 20% higher. And for continuing operations, HEPS are projected to rise by as much as 39%. The group's results will be published on the 7th of March. Quantum Foods has announced a leadership change. The firm's CEO, Hendrik Lourens, is set to retire and will relinquish the position effective April 1st. Adele Deirdre van der Merwe will succeed him. Van der Merwe is currently an executive at the company's layer farming and eggs businesses. In international news, Bitcoin hit a 2-year high today on signs of large players buying the cryptocurrency, while smaller rival Ether topped $3,200 for the first time since 2022. Let's take a look at this package report for more.
Bitcoin hit a 2-year high on Tuesday. It rose to more than $57,000 on signs of large players buying the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has rallied over 1/10 in 2 sessions. Investors were alerted by Monday's disclosure from leading crypto investor MicroStrategy. It had bought 3,000 Bitcoins, spending $155 million to do so. The largest cryptocurrency by market value has also seen further excitement recently. Buyers were drawn to it after US regulators approved Bitcoin-owning exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. Smaller rival Ether is also on the up, topping $3,200 for the first time in 2 years on Tuesday. Another big draw right now is the Bitcoin halving event in April. This process is designed to slow the release of Bitcoin by cutting the reward for producing the tokens in half. The cryptocurrency has gained around 32% in value so far this month and attracted big hitters. Social media site Reddit said it had invested a small portion of its excess cash reserves in both Bitcoin and Ether.
And the German Labour Minister is set to launch a conference to search for workforce globally. This in an attempt to address the local skills shortages. Let's check in with our reporter Darling Lochela for more.
Well, Zinati, ministers are also saying that the struggle to address the shortage of millions of workers could cost Germany its position as one of the world's leading economies. Joining us now with on-the-ground insight is DW correspondent Chiponda Chimbelu. Thanks for your time today. Now, as we get started, just take us through how much of a problem Germany's skilled labor shortage is.
Thanks for having me. Well, German Labour Minister Hubertus Heil said Germany is working against the clock to secure a skilled labour base. Speaking at a government conference on skilled labour on Monday, he warned that the skills and labour shortage could become the country's main obstacle to growth if it persists. Last year, there were more than 750,000 job vacancies. While that's lower than the record numbers seen in 2022, Germany lacks skilled workers in many areas, including digitalization, a sector which is essential for growth. Europe's biggest economy doesn't only need workers to replace baby boomers heading into retirement. It also needs workers to help it finance the country's pension system. And because solutions like raising the retirement age are largely unattractive to voters, skilled worker migration is being touted by the government as a solution.
So what is the government doing to address this issue?
Well, the German government has been relaxing migration rules to encourage skilled worker migration. On Friday this week, March 1st, the next stage of Germany's Skilled Immigration Act will go into effect. The main change will be for some professions for skilled migrants who do not speak any German but have work experience. Many will no longer need to get their degrees or certificates from abroad formally approved by German authorities. Now, that's a big deal because underemployment is a major problem for migrants. In fact, more than 500,000 foreigners with a degree in Germany work in jobs that don't use their skills, according to one estimate by the OECD. But getting foreign degrees and professional certificates recognized isn't the only challenge.
Lastly, what other challenges does Germany face?
One of the major challenges that the German government faces is selling migration as a solution. In the last year, the far-right AfD party, which is known for its anti-immigration stance, has been rising steadily in the polls. It is now the country's second most popular party, ahead of the three parties in the ruling coalition: the Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Free Democrats. Now, the AfD's rise is something that some businesses have warned could make Germany less attractive for migrants. While there have been demonstrations against the AfD and right-wing extremism, a recent OECD study says that racism is a major concern among skilled migrants in Germany. Now, that is something that could hurt Europe's industrial powerhouse because other Western countries also face skilled labor shortages. Germany needs to ensure it is more attractive than other EU countries, and it has to compete with other countries such as Canada and the US as well, and they have fewer language barriers and social barriers for skilled migrants.
Chiponda, thanks for your time and those insights. That was Chiponda Chimbelu from Deutsche Welle.